What if I told you that being good with money has almost nothing to do with how smart you are? That a PhD, a high IQ, or the ability to read complex market charts could be totally useless when it comes to building real, lasting wealth. You see it all the time. Brilliant doctors, genius engineers, and savvy business leaders who are secretly drowning in debt, making awful investment choices, and living paycheck to paycheck, even with a huge income. And it's not because they aren't smart. It's because our brains, the same organs that can build rockets and cure diseases, are wired with ancient biases and emotional traps that make us our own worst financial enemies. This isn't the stuff they teach in school. We get formulas and spreadsheets, but we never learn how our own minds lie to us about wealth. Today, we're fixing that. We're going to unpack the brilliant lessons from Morgan Housel's book, The Psychology of Money, to expose the hidden behavioral traps that sabotage your financial life. We'll break down the crucial lessons that separate the truly wealthy from those who are just rich for a little while. By the end of this, you won't just understand money better, you'll understand yourself better. Section 1. The biggest lie. Your brain is rational with money. The first and most important lesson is that financial success isn't a hard science. It's a soft skill. How you behave is way more important than what you know. We love to think we're logical, making money decisions based on data and careful analysis. But the truth is, most of our major financial decisions happen at the dinner table, during a chat with a friend, or right after we see our neighbor's shiny new car. Our choices are just a messy soup of personal history, ego, and whatever story feels right at that moment. Housel's big idea is that we shouldn't aim to be coldly rational, but consistently reasonable. A purely rational investor might crunch the numbers and see that a volatile tech stock offers the highest potential returns. But a reasonable investor knows that the stress and sleepless nights from that stock's wild swings could easily cause them to panic and sell at the worst possible time. Being reasonable means picking a strategy you can actually stick with, one that lets you sleep at night. It's about understanding that your own behavior, your ability to stay calm and patient, is a much more powerful asset than any complex algorithm. Because the greatest financial plan on earth is worthless if it doesn't account for the hardest variable to control, you. Section 2. The man in the car paradox. The trap of being rich versus wealthy. Have you ever seen someone cruise by in a flashy Ferrari and thought, wow, that person is so cool? Here's the paradox. When you see that car, you don't actually think about the driver. You think about how cool you would look driving it. You use their fancy possession as a yardstick for your own desires. Housel calls this the man in the car paradox. We buy expensive things to signal to other people that we're smart, successful, and worthy of admiration. But people rarely admire the person. They admire the thing and use it as a mirror for their own aspirations. This brings us to a huge distinction: being rich versus being wealthy. Being rich is your current income. It's visible, the luxury car, the big house, the designer clothes. It's loud and wants to be seen. But wealth is what you don't see. Wealth is the money you haven't spent. It's the stocks and bonds that are quietly compounding, the financial assets that haven't been turned into stuff. Spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. Wealth, on the other hand, buys you freedom, options, and control over your time. It's the quiet confidence that comes from unspent capital working for you. The quickest way to feel like you're falling behind is to try and keep up with the visible richness of others, forgetting that their wealth might just be an illusion built on debt. True wealth is silent. It's choosing autonomy over applause. Section 3. The seduction of more. Why goalposts keep moving. One of the hardest financial skills to learn is getting the goalpost to stop moving. It's a game so many of us play without even knowing it. You get a promotion, you feel great for a second, but then your aspirations inflate. Your lifestyle quietly expands to match your new income, and you're no more secure than before. Your ego starts writing checks your happiness can't cash. This is fueled by the dangerous engine of social comparison. We look at friends, co-workers, or influencers, and their lifestyle becomes our new baseline. The problem is, the ceiling of what other people spend is so high, it's basically invisible, and chasing it will only lead to regret. Housel shares the cautionary tale of Rajat Gupta, a former McKinsey CEO who was already a multimillionaire. He was convicted of insider trading just to try and become a billionaire. He had everything he could ever need, but he risked it all for more. He had no sense of enough. Learning to resist the fear of missing out, FOMO, is one of the most powerful financial skills you can develop. It's about understanding there's no reason to risk what you have and need for something you don't have and don't need. Financial peace doesn't come from having more. It comes from wanting less. It's about defining what enough means to you, regardless of the world around you, and feeling content when you get there. Section 4. Your greatest asset is time, not timing. If you want to be a better investor, the most powerful thing you can do is give yourself more time. We're obsessed with finding the next hot stock or timing the market perfectly. But the real magic isn't in big dramatic moves. It's in small, steady actions amplified by the unstoppable force of time. Housel uses the perfect example: Warren Buffett. Everyone knows he's a phenomenal investor, but his real secret isn't just skill, it's his incredible longevity. Buffett started investing when he was just 10 years old. A huge chunk of his net worth was accumulated late in life. For instance, of his roughly $84.5 billion net worth in 2018, nearly all of it was amassed after his 50th birthday. His success is a masterclass in compounding, where your returns start earning their own returns, creating a massive snowball effect. Good investing isn't about chasing the highest possible returns, because those are usually one-off hits you can't repeat. It's about earning pretty good returns that you can stick with for the longest period of time. That's when compounding really goes wild. This requires a total mindset shift. Instead of chasing lightning in a bottle, the goal is to be financially average for an above-average amount of time. The beauty of this is its simplicity. You don't need to be a genius, you just need patience and the discipline to let time do the heavy lifting. Section 5. Getting rich versus staying rich, the two sides of the coin. Getting money and keeping money are two completely different skills, and they demand opposite mindsets. Getting rich usually involves taking risks, being optimistic, and putting yourself out there. But staying rich, that requires the opposite. It demands humility and a healthy dose of paranoia, a deep awareness that everything you've built could be taken away just as quickly as you made it. History is littered with people who got rich and lost it all. They never made the mental switch from offense to defense. Staying wealthy is all about survival. It's about dodging catastrophic mistakes and setting up your finances so that one bad investment or a missed goal won't wipe you out. The aim is to be financially unbreakable, so you can stay in the game long enough for compounding to work its magic. This means you need a margin for error. You should embrace calculated risk because it pays off over time, but be terrified of ruinous risk, the kind that kicks you out of the game for good. Housel puts it perfectly: save like a pessimist and invest like an optimist. Assume the short term will be full of chaos and surprises, but trust that the long-term trend will point up. Exception 6, the ultimate goal. It's not a number, it's freedom. So what's money really for? We often think the goal is a specific number in a bank account, but the biggest dividend money pays isn't a luxury item. It's control. The highest form of wealth is the ability to wake up every morning and say, I can do whatever I want today. This is the whole point of financial independence. Control over your own time. It's the freedom to choose your work, to decide who you spend your time with, to live life on your terms. This kind of autonomy is a universal driver of happiness, way more than a big salary or a fancy house. Because personal finance is more personal than it is finance, there's no single right answer for everyone. The plan that works for somebody else might not fit your goals, your risk tolerance, or what actually makes you happy. You have to define the game you're playing and stop taking cues from people who are playing a different one. When you stop seeing money as a scorecard and start seeing it as a tool for living a better life, everything changes. The goal isn't just to be wealthy. It's to have the freedom that wealth provides. These ideas are just the start of a huge shift in how you can approach your money. If these lessons clicked with you and gave you a new way to think about your own financial behavior, do me a favor and hit that like button. And for more explorations into the mindsets and strategies that build real, lasting wealth, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. Now I want to hear from you. What was the biggest aha moment for you in all of this? Was it the difference between being rich and wealthy? Or the idea that your behavior is your biggest asset? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. Conclusion. So, let's wrap this up. Being good with money is a soft skill, where how you act is more important than how much you know. True wealth is what you don't see. It buys freedom and options, not just shiny objects. The incredible power of compounding needs patience and time, not market timing genius. And the ultimate purpose of wealth is to gain control over your own life. The lies our brains tell us about money are powerful, but they aren't unbeatable. By understanding these psychological traps, the pull of social comparison, the fear of missing out, the illusion of being perfectly rational, we can start making better, more reasonable decisions. We can build financial lives that aren't just successful, but also secure and genuinely fulfilling. I'll leave you with this final question to think about. What's the one financial behavior you can change, starting today, to build a life of true freedom?